This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hi everybody, welcome to show 209 Aussie Mac Zone. You're stuck with just me, and Karen's running the controls for me tonight, my darling beautiful wife. So, don't forget, we are brought to you by athwebhosting.com.au with affordable and competitive plans, 99.95% uptime at least, domain registration available, free setup, auto setup, instant activation, accepting PayPal and other cards, 250 scripts installed with one click, including WordPress and Joomla, and of course the industry standard cPanel for user-friendly, feature-rich control panel. All from $5.95 per month when paid annually, 24/7 ticket support and friendly help when needed. So you're stuck, as I said, with just my dry rambling tones tonight, so it won't take us very long, even though there's quite a few stories. So with our High Sierra release, it's been advised that there is a password theft 0-day imperils users of High Sierra and earlier Mac OS versions. There is a vulnerability in High Sierra and earlier versions of Mac OS that allows rogue applications to steal plain text passwords stored in the Mac keychain, a security researcher said Monday. That's the same day the widely anticipated update was released. Now, the Mac keychain is a digital vault of sorts that stores passwords and cryptographic keys. Apple engineers have designed it so that installed applications can't access its contents without the user entering a master password. A weakness in the keychain, however, allows rogue apps to steal every plain text password it stores with no password required. Now, a former National Security Agency hacker who now works for a security firm posted a demonstration, but an Apple representative emailed the following statement: Mac OS is designed to be secure by default, and Gatekeeper warns users against installing unsigned apps, like the one shown in the proof of concept, and prevents them from launching untrusted sources in the software, like the Mac App Store, and to pay careful attention to security dialogues that Mac OS presents. Now, it is only proof of concept at the moment. The researcher has not released it, and he has advised Apple. So it's one of those things where we believe if Apple don't react to it, then he will have to release it to further people. And it's also better that they tell us, because he could have just sold it to all the security companies, or he could have made money by selling the service to get into people's passwords when law enforcement agencies are trying to crack phones for people. So now, Apple acquired a computer vision photo analysis firm, Regained. So it's a French startup that focused on using its computer vision API to recognize content within photos, TechCrunch reports. Apple issued the standard confirmation when asked about the company. Apple already ships features through its photos apps for searching for subjects like dogs and sunsets, and Apple's Memories feature intelligently creates collections of photos based on context. But TechCrunch notes that Regained provided features not currently used in iOS to date. Regained goes one step further and can tell you the technical and aesthetic values of your photos. For instance, if you shoot a bunch of photos in burst mode, Regained could automatically find the best shot and use it as the main shot in your photo library. Regained could also hide duplicates. Interestingly, Regained also analyzes your face to determine your gender, age, and emotion. It is unclear if Apple had enough time to leverage Regained within iOS 11, and Apple may have combined Regained technology with the new Face ID Center in iPhone X to reinforce an emoji facial expressions, for instance. And I'm sure there will be more to come. Apple has a number of other machine learning and facial recognition firms it has acquired, include Emotient, Perceptio, and Turi, which have boosted the recent focus on AI features being highlighted in Apple's software. Now, High Sierra. This is after 1 week. So I personally have had no issues. The install took 45 minutes, and I do not have music or pictures on my boot drive. There is one thing I do find unusual is when backspacing text. It has a slight delay removing the letters, whether in a document or in a file names. So it can actually, you can see what you're actually deleting. It just takes that, it's sort of 2 or 3 steps behind, and I don't believe it's the speed of the machine. Unfortunately, I haven't got other people here to talk to, but I haven't had any hassle. What I will be doing this week is trying to format external drives with Apple's new file format, just to see how that goes and whether it reduces my music and my pictures drive. So that will be interesting, but of course, do a backup. So we've got also now a happy birthday, 44 years, September 25, 1973. Microcomputer Machines of Canada introduces their MCM70 microcomputer at a programmer's user conference in Toronto. Possibly the earliest commercially manufactured device that can now be considered a personal computer. It's got, looks like it's got a little display, a couple of tape decks, a keyboard, proper keyboard that we're used to now. So the MCM70 gained customers at companies such as Chevron, Mutual Life, NASA, and the US Army. And the company worked closely with Intel on the design of their computer and made very early use of the Intel 8008 processor, of which the basic design was used in the future of the Intel 8086. However, failing to generate venture capital in the Canadian marketplace, the MCM70 never gained significant market acceptance, and by the time the Apple II and other early computers were being released, the MCM70 was being relegated to a footnote in history. But we'll have a link in the show notes. Now, also, I noticed while preparing the show notes, Apple are advertising for staff. So if you would like a job at Apple, maybe now is a good time to apply. So it was just, they had, service and non-service personnel, mainly for their stores. So it's worth a look. And then, just want to remind everyone, Aussie Tech Radio at aussietechradio.com, which shows continuous 24/7 audio of Australian and New Zealand podcasts, some of which are the award-winning Aussie Tech Heads podcast, the infamous and very important these days Aussie Tech Security podcast, and of course ours. And a few other good ones too, I must admit. Now, we could have done the whole show based just on Fortune's thoughts on Apple's fortunes. So they go on to go, it wasn't all bad news for Apple. For instance, the company is believed to be making a healthy profit on the sale of each iPhone, further bolstering arguments by industry watchers who believe the iPhone X and iPhone 8 will help Apple reach new financial heights. So in Fortune's latest weekly roundup of the biggest Apple news, so we've got Apple kicked off the week right with the release of an update to its free desktop operating system. The software includes several new features, including faster performance, thanks to the new file system that allows for quicker transfer and accessibility of folders. It's available now as a free download. However, some users complained about possible security problems that we talked about earlier that dampened enthusiasm for the update. It's not that bad a security issue at the moment, and it's for all of them, so it doesn't matter. It's always better to update. So after its first weekend of availability, the iPhone 8 and its larger alternative, the 8 Plus, suffered from lower than expected demand, according to research firm Local Ticks, LOCALYTICS, Locally Ticks. In fact, the iPhone 8's early estimated sales were lower than for last year's iPhone 7s in terms of overall share of the iOS market. Apple's iPhone 8 Plus, however, attracted a larger share of customers than the previous iPhone 7 Plus did in its first weekend of availability last year. So, all things being equal, it's equal. Now, even if iPhone 8 is having trouble attracting customers, it should still generate a nice profit for Apple, excluding assembly and staff costs, among others, according to an IHS market report this week. Apple makes $411.06 on that's US on the sale of each new iPhone 8 and $510 US on each iPhone 8 Plus, excluding those additional costs. Apple, however, hasn't confirmed pricing and the amount of profit on individual sales and never will. The iPhone 8's glass back panel will cost customers $99 to fix under the company's warranty, and Apple revealed this week. In comparison, Apple charges $29 to fix an iPhone 8 screen that's under warranty. That's actually under Apple Care Plus, those prices. And the reason, we'll talk about the higher price on the back shortly. There is a major debate over Apple's iPhone 10. One report this week suggests the iPhone 10 is suffering from manufacturing problems with its Face ID sensor, and that fewer phones will be available for their November premiere than otherwise expected. That report spooked investors who sent the company's share down more than 1% in one day. But as I explained this week, worries about the iPhone 10 is overblown and everything will likely be fine. Now, this is the US Federal Communications Commissioner Chairman Ajit Pai this week complained that Apple should turn on FM frequency chips inside its iPhone to allow users in hurricane-damaged areas to listen to radio stations for critical information. The problem, however, is that Apple's iPhone 7 and 8 don't come with FM radio chips in them. Now we've got another story regarding iPhone 8 swollen batteries and what you really need to know. So, Renee Ritchie from iMore has written that there are a small percentage of battery failures every year for every lithium-ion phone, but that won't stop iPhone 8 swollen batteries from making headlines. Here's the thing. Every year, every iPhone... sorry, just having a screen issue here. Just all went away on me. My whole screen just went... There we go. The whole screen went away. This year, the thing, every year, every iPhone, every phone by every manufacturer sold anywhere and everywhere around the world will have some small percentage of battery failures. That includes swelling, combustion, and suddenly failure to charge or hold a charge. It's the realities of the lithium-ion technology currently used, and it happens every year, and it happens all the time. Now, it may not be widely known because it didn't used to be widely reported. A few outlets would cover it, but pretty much everyone knew that what it was, and it took it for what it was, a curiosity more than actual news. But this year we're getting numerous headlines about it happening twice with an iPhone 8. Yeah, twice. Out of however many hundreds of thousands, if not millions, already shipped, there's 2 swollen batteries. Now, I'd like to point out that the screen has popped, unlike because everyone was bagging Renee saying he's an Apple lover and this is what's happened to Samsung. We've had 2 and the screen popped. They didn't catch fire, and even the the new style battery also had a problem on the Samsung, but they absolutely were bagging Renee for some reason. So, yeah, 2 out of thousands and thousands and thousands, or if not millions, of phones. 2. Now, I know we harp on about it, but please back up. So, 3 walk-in customers this weekend with liquid damage. So the first question is, can I have my data? Where it should be, can you fix the machine? I've got a backup. So please, everyone, go and make a backup. Be awesome. So hard drives are so cheap these days. Please do it. Now, what we alluded to earlier, be aware. The iPhone 8, 8 Plus, and the 10 with the glass back is expensive to replace the back because of the induction charging. So maybe it's time to get a case and the Apple Care Plus that you can get for your phones. So in Australia, it's $189 for the iPhone 8 or $229 for an iPhone 8 Plus. But that makes the cost of replacing the front or the back very, very cheap. You can get 2 in that warranty period. You can get 2 times where you've dropped your phone and broken the glass. I think in Australia it's about $50 to replace the glass, so as opposed to $1,000. So yes, so yeah, maybe it is time to get a case, a really good one. Think about it. Even though now and also a good point is, but now with the glass back, the phones are easier to hold on to. So that's it. Nice and quick. Sorry it's only me. No one to bag out. But thank you to my darling wife for doing the switching. Thank you to our listeners, our sponsors, and our supporters. And we look forward to talking to you next week. Good night.